The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets are on the field against the Carolina Panthers right now in what is a joint practice down in Charlotte. Hassan Reddick is not there, but could Aaron Rodgers help get Reddick back to the Jets? We'll talk about that and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Joe Caporoso joins the program, so let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season. We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Brees Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jets fans. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Thursday. Please hit the like button before we get started. And, of course, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. We are just 2 days away from the party of summer, the watch party for the Jets and the Panthers Saturday night. Party starts at 6:30 at T-Squared Social. Kickoff is at 7. We have a $4 shot special at kickoff, so make sure you get there early and enjoy everything T-Squared Social has to offer. RSVP if you're coming. We have close to 200 Asmaniacs already RSVP'd, so it is going to be absolutely wild. I can't say thank you enough to everyone coming out. It is a damn preseason game, and we're treating it like it's the regular season, like it's the Super Bowl, because that's what this fan base does. All right, joining us right now to talk all things New York Jets is the host of the Badlands podcast on Patreon. He is the founder of Turn on the Jets. He is Joe Caporoso, and he joins us now. Joe, appreciate your time as always. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's that time of the year. We just about made it.
We're almost there. And of course, Hassan Reddick, he has not made it. He is still at this point is not with the Jets. The holdout continues. What's your take on where we are right now? We could get into how we got here and all that, but moving forward, I think the only thing this fan base cares about is he coming back? Is he going to be out there week 1 against the 49ers? What are your thoughts on where we go from here?
I went from about a 5% chance he wouldn't be there week 1 to maybe like a 35% chance now. I still think it's more likely than not. Cooler heads prevail and this gets figured out before week 1. The Jets have too much incentive to get it done. This staff, this regime needs to win now. They have the rare opportunity to have one of the best quarterbacks in football. They know they need Reddick for their defense. There's a reason they went and traded for him post losing Bryce Huff. They can say all they want about Michael Clemens and Will McDonald. Reddick's had 4 straight double-digit sack seasons. That does not happen for the Jets, period, since Mark Gastineau. They've never had someone produce sacks like that. For Reddick, he wants money, and he wants to get paid as much as he can over the next 2 years. And continuing to miss this entire season does not benefit him in that process. So both sides rep by CAA. I think gradually cooler heads prevail. Something gets knocked out closer to the regular season than we'd like, where I'm still worried that he pulls a hammy early in the season. I think worst case scenario, do you have a Chris Jones situation where he sits out week 1 and he's out there by week 2? Maybe. I'd like to think around the Giants preseason game, this gets fleshed out. I really thought it would be done by now. And I'm surprised how early Reddick's side hit the emergency button of requesting a trade. The Jets will not trade him. They will not have that egg on their face after already losing Huff. They just have to find a way to compromise on some version of a Band-Aid contract. And the Jets, this is not a conventional team building situation. They have had to be very aggressive, and you have to get this final piece in. So look, at the end of the day, I think the need to win and money wins out, and it's done in about 8 to 10 days.
What is this defense without Hassan Reddick? Because there's some Jet fans saying, we don't need him. And I think that's ridiculous. The Jet PR spin out there is, well, we have 2 first-round picks on our defensive line, and Reddick was the cherry on top, which is also nonsense. So you're as good as it gets, just being fair and balanced, talking about this team, Joe. Objectively, let's say Reddick's not there. How good is this defense without him?
It's a big step back. I think with Reddick, it's a top 3 defense in the NFL, maybe the best defense in the NFL. Without Reddick, it's in the probably 8 to 12 range. It's still really good, but it's not one of the best defenses in the NFL. And you can't just say the 2 first-round picks because Will McDonald has not shown himself to be a very productive NFL player yet. He could be, but we haven't seen it yet. Right now, he looks like a situational role player. Same with Clemens, who'd be in that mix to help backfill JFM. He looks like more of a role player at best. Jermaine Johnson, sure. He looked great last year. He would be that much better with Haason Reddick opposite him. Jermaine Johnson being far and away your best edge rusher and getting all the double teams and attention that comes with that will negatively impact him. And he'd be that much more productive with Reddick opposite him. That rounds out the defense. It allows McDonald and Clemens to be more of role players, which they should be. Otherwise, you really took a step back on the defensive line. One of the strengths last year, you went from Quentin Jefferson, 6 sacks, Al Woods, great run stopper, Bryce Huff, elite off the edge as a pass rusher in those situations. JFM, underappreciated, versatile. You lose all 4 of them and only backfill them with Kinlaw and like Leaky Fotu and some UDFAs. And I like Leonard Taylor and Watts, but you're asking a lot for UDFAs to make a major year 1 impact. That's a big step back, and they just can't afford that. And you take yourself out of the discussion for being the best defense in football if you don't have them. Again, it is rare anywhere, but especially for the Jets, to have 10-plus sacks 4 years in a row. If you're a Jet fan, you can count on one hand how frequently someone has double-digit sacks over the past 10, 20 years. It's just a rare skill that Huff didn't even really reach consistently yet. So that's why I think this has to get done. And of course, the Jets are going to do what they need to do. They're going to put pressure. They're going to leak. They're going to say they're fine with Clemens being a 3-down player. McDonald's ready to make the leap. Until we see it on the field, it's just PR spin and them trying to have public leverage against Reddick.
And very quickly with McDonald, I'm not saying he can't eventually be a good player. In fact, I think, say whatever you want about the Jets with this regime, Saleh has proven, at least defensively, he's got a good staff there that can maximize talent, develop guys. We've seen it. But a year ago at this time, Jermaine Johnson was seemingly every day making plays, and we were going, wow, here comes the year 2 leap. He's going to be awesome. McDonald's had a couple days here or there, a couple moments, but he hasn't had the JJ training camp of a year ago. So the idea that he's going to be Jermaine Johnson and they're fine, I don't buy that at all. Do you?
No, and these guys they were different college players. Like, people thought the Jets might take Jermaine at 10 that year. And a lot of people thought he was going to be a top 10 pick. And it was a pleasant surprise they got him where they got him in the 20s. Everyone was shocked when they took McDonald. We were in this ecosystem. There was not one Jets analyst who thought they were even considering McDonald in round 1. And most people didn't think he was a first-round pick. So you can make the case that they got great value where they drafted Jermaine, and they slightly overdrafted McDonald. Jermaine just came in as a much more developed player. He's older. He's a more well-rounded 3-down built for that kind of role, whereas McDonald still needs to grow into his body. So expecting he's just going to be Jermaine Johnson overnight is not fair. And they shouldn't need him to be. If they have Reddick and McDonald could come in on 3rd downs and get 5-6 sacks this year, that's great. And then by year 3, maybe it's a different conversation. He's not ready to be a full-time player yet. We haven't seen him prove that yet. Maybe we're wrong. The Jets wouldn't have traded for Reddick if they thought he was ready to be a 3-down player. They traded for a very big headache that they're still dealing with. They did that for a reason because they know they needed more at edge rusher.
No question. So I have 2 cuts here from Aaron Rodgers that I want to get your take on, Joe. So this was Aaron Rodgers when he met with the media a couple days ago, being asked about the Hassan Reddick situation.
Well, there's always new things in the league that, I've been around 20 years. I've seen a lot of stuff. I think as players, we always first try and side with the player because you know what it's like to be a player. I've played against Hassan before. I don't know him well. I've had a couple messages with him, I believe, when he got traded. Obviously, we'd love for him to be here, but we don't judge him for trying to do what's best for him. I think what's best for him is to be a Jet because this is going to be a fun ride. But he's got to make the best decision for him and his family.
So I love that answer from Rodgers. Then the follow-up right here from, I believe it was Samini, basically saying, hey, are you going to reach out?
Would you try to reach out to him to try to say what you just said now? Like to try to come in and win something here?
Yeah, that's possible. Anything's possible.
Rodgers with that smirk. So it sounds like Rodgers is going to reach out. Do you think that carries any weight? Are we making too much of that? Because I do think, like, eventually Reddick's going to have to show up, right? And I think the chance to win and play with Aaron Rodgers and be on national TV a bunch and play great. And if it's not the Jets paying you next year, it's someone, right? I think that's the selling point. If you're a teammate of Reddick, like, hey, I know you're pissed with your deal. It is what it is. Come back. We're going to welcome you. Have a great season. Someone's going to pay you, man. You're going to get so many opportunities to showcase yourself on the national stage.
It certainly doesn't hurt. I mean, he's Aaron Rodgers. He carries a lot of weight when he talks. And players don't begrudge other players for trying to get their money, which is why I don't think this is going to be some big situation in the Jets locker room. And I think Rodgers did a nice job of speaking to that. Every player understands every other player is trying to get every single cent they could. And you're not going to have like DJ Reed mad at the Jets because they paid Reddick. And yes, hopefully Rodgers can be like, look, you compromise here. You get this money this year. We're going to be a national team. We're going to be really good. You're going to get a ton of exposure in this defense. You're going to have 12, 13, 14 sacks, and you could go get another massive payday. That's the rational way to look at this. It certainly doesn't hurt if you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers, nudging you on it, and you want the locker room, pressing to get him there. They're not dumb. All these guys want to win this year, and they know how good Reddick is. They saw him in a Super Bowl dominate the game. Like, it makes a difference. So Rodgers, I am sure more than anybody, after what happened last year and after watching what Jordan Love did in the playoffs, is dying to be back in big games and dying to show he still has it and that the Packers made a mistake. He wants the best team around him possible. Reddick's a big part of that. Part of the reason he came here was for a dominant defense. And they have a good defense, a very good defense, I would say, even without Reddick. They have a dominant defense with him. So like all Jet fans, I'm hoping this gets done. And usually I'd be a little more, let's think of the medium and long-term picture here and the ramifications and the dead money. Not in this situation. This is unconventional. You have a 27-56 GM. You have an 18-33 head coach. You haven't made the playoffs in 13 years. We all want Rodgers for 2 years. You might only have him for 1 year. He's 41. Anything could happen. He's a bit eclectic, we'll say, with his personality. You get 1 season with him. And then you're right back to praying that Jordan Travis or some other draft pick or some other free agent could help make you be competitive at quarterback. You have to strike while you have this window. So you have to think a little more short term than normally we'd advocate for, which they've been doing anyway. That's why they signed Tyron Smith and Mike Williams and traded for Aaron Rodgers. It's a team built to win right now.
Let's talk about Rodgers specifically. Your expectations for him, Joe, because I still think if he's healthy, which right now he is, you hear all the stories 2 days ago on how great he looked at practice and what was basically, 3/4 of a game they played. To me, if he's healthy, I still think he's a top 10 quarterback in this league. And I think it's fair to expect him to potentially break a lot of Jet records, over 31 touchdowns thrown, 4,000 yards passing. Like, I think he's going to be maybe not MVP Rodgers, but I think he's going to be very good. Your thoughts on that take and just your thoughts on Rodgers in general?
I think it's fair to expect him to be very good. Now, the level he played at that MVP or those 2 MVP seasons, that's rare. But can he be one of the 8 or 10 best quarterbacks in football? Maybe a touch higher? Sure. I think he's looked really good all summer. By all accounts, you want to see it in the games. He has a much better offensive line. He's got the supporting running game he needs that's going to keep pressure off him. I think statistically, he could be 85% of the MVP player and still break a ton of Jets records. I mean, you're really chasing that Ryan Fitzpatrick single season record and some of the stuff with Namath.
Please just throw 32 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that's all
just
about.
Get over 32. And look, he has 17 games to chase, some of the other Namath records. I do think the Jets are going to be, especially early in the year, more run heavy than people expect. I think they built this team to beat the hell out of people up front with their offensive line and with Braylon Allen to go with Breece Hall and with Corley even being used in the short passing game and running game. They want certain weeks where Rodgers only has to throw the ball 20 or 22 times and save him, make him healthy, make sure he's healthy and fresh for December and the weeks where you need him to drop back and throw 60 times. But I don't think they want to put a huge burden on him every single week. And they shouldn't have to when you have maybe the best running back in football this year in Breece Hall, and he's running behind AVT, Morgan Moses, Tyron Smith, John Simpson, all the things. So I think he's going to be really good. I think he has a chance to have the best or certainly one of the best seasons we've seen from a Jets quarterback. And that's not a very high bar to clear. The Jets don't need him to win the MVP, to win the AFC East. But if he is a top 10 quarterback and they have a top 10-ish offense, they're highly likely to win 11 or 12 games because their defense is really good. Their special teams are good. Their schedule, I think, despite the weird kickoff times every single week, which means you and I won't get to sleep a lot this year, it's not friendly, and it's especially friendly out of the gate. They really should start like 4-1 or 5-1 or 5-2. Like they're going to be a favorite in those first, I don't know, 5 of those first 6 games. So they got to take advantage of that.
Rodgers basically said, hey, preseason means nothing. I don't feel like I need to necessarily play. My big thing with him in the preseason is if he wants to play, you're not going to tell him no if he says he needs it. Sounds like he doesn't need it. Your thoughts on Rodgers potentially not playing in the preseason at all?
I would not mind not seeing him at all. It was fun when he played in the Giants game last year. Ultimately, didn't impact anything. I don't think it's why he got hurt. I don't think even if he was fine, that would be any reason for it. I just think the risk outweighs the reward, especially at this point. You can see how cautious they're being with Rodgers too. They didn't play him in a joint practice because it rained out. So why throw him out there in a preseason game on that turf? I'm just not in a rush to do that. Let Tyrod have an extended run in case he has to start a couple games. Let him play the whole first half. They actually seem to have 2 preseason competent arms this summer, which is good. It allows you to properly evaluate the rest of the offense. It's like you could run a normal offense and look at your receivers and running backs and offensive line because Peasley and Martinez seem okay for preseason arms. So I just don't think the risk is – I think they're going to be really cautious. Even this Panthers game, I wouldn't be surprised if there's another 25, 28 players inactive. I mean, it was the Hall of Fame game against Washington. I think it could be very similar in the Carolina game. Maybe in the Giants game, you get a little Garrett and Sauce and a couple series of the starting offensive line. I don't think Rodgers plays. I think cooler heads will prevail, and they'll be like, it's not worth the 2 series. Just wait until the Niners game.
You guys on your podcast, you and Connor Rodgers, Badlands, who do a great job with the Jets. Everyone subscribe on Patreon if you want Joe's content with Connor. You guys have been on this for a while. Eventually, Olu is going to be basically the guy they plug and play if there's any injury. And this week, the Jets started to cross-train Olu Fashanu at right tackle. He was out there in their biggest practice of the summer the other day with Rodgers at right tackle, getting actual game reps, so to speak, against the starting defense. Your thoughts on Olu so far? And do you see the scenario where this guy's going to play a lot more than maybe some are willing to actually admit at this point?
I think the early returns have been really positive. It's rare. This kind of reminds me a little bit of Sauce, where rookies come in, they usually have like ups and downs, but with Sauce, he was just great at practice every day. Olu's kind of been like that and was really good in the preseason opener. It's smart the Jets are getting him reps at right tackle, because the reality is that if either Tyron Smith or Morgan Moses miss any time, Olu's coming in, regardless of who gets hurt. You're not putting Max Mitchell or Carter Warren in over your first round pick. Olu's too good. You have to put your best player out there. So, if Morgan Moses gets hurt, he should be ready to pop in at right tackle. I think the bigger question is, do the Jets get cute and try to get him out there in certain heavy looks as sort of an extra eligible offensive lineman or tight end? If for whatever reason AVT gets hurt or Simpson struggles, do they do something extreme like put Morgan Moses at guard and get Olu out there at tackle? I don't think they play Olu at guard. I think the long-term investment's there. But couldn't they say, look, our best 5 really has Moses and Olu out there with Tyron? They've done stuff like that in the past, so it wouldn't shock me. I don't think that's going to be the plan out of the gate, and hopefully Simpson and AVT are fine. But at some point, I think you'll see Olu in certain packages, heavy packages, when the Jets are running the ball. And if either of the tackles miss any time, he'll absolutely be the first guy off the bench.
We got a couple minutes left with Joe Caporoso. So if you have a question for Joe, make sure you write it in. Joe, I love your just kind of broader picture perspective on the state of the Jets. So we're not going to go that broad, but just overall through training camp. Obviously, Reddick is the story that's dominating everything right now. But I think outside of that, and I know it's a big one, don't get me wrong, but Mike Williams is seemingly ahead of schedule. Olu's looking really good, as we just talked about. Rodgers looks like Aaron Rodgers. To me, there's been a lot of positive storylines surrounding this football team. What are your thoughts on that? And maybe some other quick takeaways that you could share on what has really kind of stood out to you this summer?
I think it's been really positive so far. Mike Williams being on track to play week 1 and maybe play like more than 50% of the snaps is a very encouraging and needed development. I think you've had a good offense and a good defense trade good days back and forth, which is what we want and not what we're accustomed to. It's usually just the defense dominates the offense in training camp, and Zach Wilson or Sam Darnold is, terrible every single day because we had that 6-year stretch of a young quarterback. So to have a good offense and good defense battling and winning days alternating has been encouraging. I think you feel good about the rookie and UDFA class from that preseason game. Olu looked good. Braylon Allen looked good. Isaiah Davis looked good. Corley had a couple nice moments. Leonard Taylor looked like the UDFA find that a lot of us were talking about. Brownlee in year 2 had a nice fade touchdown. So the young fringe roster guys have had good moments. Knock on wood, there's been no injuries to speak of to anyone in a starting role. So that of course is the biggest positive. So if you're a Jet fan, you put the Reddick stuff aside, it's been basically exactly what you want so far this summer. There'll probably be a couple minor tweaks to the roster, when they do final cuts and the waiver wire hits, but you got a good feel for like what the team's going to be at this point. And on paper, healthy, it's a double-digit win team if everything goes right. That's a fair non-homer expectation for them in my mind. Now, you want to debate whether they're going to win 10 games or 12 games or what the real ceiling is. That's a more fair conversation. But so far this summer, it looks like a really good team that's been built to win in 2024. Beyond that, a lot of questions, but for 2024, when you have Aaron Rodgers, Tyron Smith, Quinn Williams, CJ Mosley, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, the list goes on, that's better than most teams in the AFC and good enough to make the playoffs.
To me, it's one of the more talented teams in the NFL. And I always say this, remove Jets from the helmet, just look at the players. Like, this team is stacked. And I understand you can't talk about the Jets without the caveat if Aaron's healthy, but I just remind everyone a year ago, the only thing we talked about with the Dolphins was, well, Tua can't stay healthy. And then the Ravens, Lamar Jackson hasn't been able to finish the season the last 2 years. Lamar wins MVP. Tua played every game. You have all these injuries to everyone. And like, I don't know, man, I'm not living my life in fear. Like, I think if Aaron gives you 14 or 15 games, Tyrod Taylor's certainly capable of going 2-1, and the expectations shouldn't change. It still should be, at the bare minimum, a 10-plus win team that has a legit chance of winning a division.
I think that's fair. And Tyrod is absolutely the kind of guy who could come in and go 2-1, 3-1. If he has to play a few games, he's more than capable, if he's healthy, of making something out of nothing, making plays and keeping the offense on track. And 14 games from Rodgers generally would be positive at this age. And more than that, you should be in really good shape. And yes, I think objectively on paper, if you take the logo away, it's a very, very good team. I think unquestionably one of the 6 or 7 best rosters in the NFL, no lower than top 10 if you're being harder on certain parts of it. And you could even make a case it's borderline top 5, which if they can stay out of their own way, win the games they're supposed to, this playoff drought should be broken. The bigger question is, can you win the division? Can you have a home playoff game? Can you really set yourself up to make some noise in the playoffs versus just squeaking in?
Joe, final question. Biggest X factor besides the health of Aaron Rodgers on this team is what?
How the wide receiver depth chart shakes out. Is Mike Williams Mike Williams? If he's not, is Allen Lazard back to the guy he was 2 years ago? If not, can Malachi Corley be ready to make a real impact year 1? If not, is Xavier Gibson ready to make a year 2 leap? There's a lot of variables there where on paper, if you look glass half empty, Mike Williams coming off a serious injury, he's 30. He might not be himself to the back half of the year. Gibson's a nice player, but more of a role player. Do you really want to count on him as like a secondary receiver? Corley's a day 2 rookie, so you're asking a lot out of him. And Lazard was terrible last year. So of those 4, who can really be the number 2 consistently to Garrett Wilson, who's going to be awesome this year? And if that is like Williams is good and right, and Lazard's serviceable, and Corley's better than we expect, and Gibson's a weapon, all of a sudden that offense gets almost impossible to defend when you factor in Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, and an okay tight end room as well.
You've been on this for a while. Breece is going to be number 2 on the team in targets.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty clearly going to be Garrett, Breece, then Conklin. Breece that's why for fantasy football, if he's not your first pick, he's the second pick overall in the draft. He's just you saw what the model should be in the Washington, Houston, and Cleveland game to a lesser extent last year, where he should be getting 5-6 catches a lot of weeks. And you tack that on top of whatever he gets running the football. He's too good, and he catches the football too well not to be heavily involved there.
I'm pretty sure, as we're talking, Allen Lazard dropped a pass that led to an interception in this joint practice, by the way.
There we go. There it is. There's your X factor concern right there.
There it is. Unreal. Joe, where can people find you once again? Plug yourself.
We are on Patreon at patreon.com/BadlandsTOJ. That's where you'll get all of our daily content. I'm also on Twitter at Joe Caporoso, where we're sharing out different bits of what we're talking about.
Joe, really appreciate your time, man. Thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Joe Caporoso, Turn on the Jets founder, the Badlands podcast with him and Connor on Patreon. Appreciate him joining us. Hit the like button, Jet fans, even if we don't like hearing that Allen Lazard is leading to interceptions out of joint practice. That's why you practice. Practice makes perfect. Speaking of Patreon, I have a Patreon. I post bonus content there. It also gives you access to our exclusive Discord channel where you find out when the show starts, future guests, get to chat with your fellow Jet fans. It also provides you with not just bonus shows, but it provides you with a discount in the merch store on every item. 15% off every item included with your Patreon membership. So shout out to Joseph, Dr. V-Man, Chris S., and Carlos Ramos for joining the Patreon. I get asked a lot, hey, Jake, what's the best way to support you, man? You work hard. You put out content. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. For less than a cup of coffee a month, you could support me on Patreon, and that money really goes a long way towards helping me continue to grow this channel. So thank you to everyone for the support. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Some updates from practice that we will get into. We will take your comments and questions. We'll open up the Gustbuster hotline as well. Let's get to a couple super chats here, and then we'll get you posted on what's going down in this joint practice. Zach Miller with a super chat. Jake, shirt idea. We kept our receipts. How about you? What does that look like, Zach? Is it just a picture of Robert Saleh's head with a receipt next to it? D Squared checks in with a super chat. Can you break down Reddick's 2023 game-by-game stats? I don't have them up in front of me, but I could tell you Hassan Reddick last year was still a damn good football player, right? Still had double-digit sacks for the fourth consecutive season. Finished with 11. Played every game. This guy's been incredibly durable in his career. I mean, he's an outstanding player. He's 2 years removed from being fourth in Defensive Player of the Year voting and being on the AP All-Pro team. Louis checks in with a super chat. Hey, Jake, will there be a watch meetup for week one? The answer to that is yes. Stay tuned for announcements on that. We will have a huge watch party for Monday Night Football. It's going to be a lot of fun. And even more fun if the New York Jets go into San Fran and win. So let's get some practice updates in here. Michael Nania of Jets X Factor is there. He actually lives in the Charlotte area. So we start with a tweet from Nania 29 minutes ago. We'll just go in chronological order from his timeline here. Chuck Clark with a diving interception off Bryce Young in 7v7. Rodgers gets D to jump free play. Rodgers finds Garrett back of the end zone on sweet contorting catch. Check down to Brees in flat. Then Allen comes in and stuffed up the middle. Offense doing red zones from the 10 right now. Olu working at right tackle in teams. That's notable. Don't know who's in, but defense is fighting versus Panthers offense. Lazard drops easy slant off hands picked. Would have been touchdown. Well, that was the play we talked about with Joe. Next tweet from Nania. Rodgers gets D to jump yet again. Incomplete into end zone on free play, though, but it's amazing to see him manipulate the defensive line so easily. 17 seconds ago from Nania. Brees just juked DB out of shoes on a run on the edge that might have had room for an 80-yard touchdown with no other defenders to beat. So that's what we got right now from Nania. Next tweet from Nania. Rodgers to Garrett over the middle for 15+. If he slipped the defender's tackle in a real game, possible long touchdown similar to Cowboys game. All right. So there's some updates there from practice. Mr. Reality with a super chat. The worst thing is to pay a disgruntled player. The worst thing is to trade for a player you knew wanted the contract and then do nothing about it and then don't have that player who's replacing a guy who had 10.5 sacks last year and a guy in John Franklin Myers you got rid of for nothing because you couldn't afford to keep him because you had to pay the player you acquired. So I don't want to hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to hear this. Look what we got here. King and Dreams. Boom! A 10 spot of channel memberships for the people.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, King and Dreams. 10 people just got memberships courtesy of KND. If you hear your name called, these are new Asmaniacs. Huge Johnson, Dominic Saving, Canuck Jets, Brian J, Dr. Nesniv, Ragnar, Nick Shell, Joey R, Matthew Sereno, Ernesto Rivera. You were all channel memberships. Thank you so much, K&D. Really appreciate the support. You super chatted in. Gang. K&D, part of the crew. Super chat from Matthew. It's a free Asmaniac super chat. Inexcusable if the Jets pay Reddick before our guys busting their asses on rookie deals, in my opinion. No one's saying you're giving Reddick a 3 or 4 year multi-year deal. You could find a compromise where he gets more money this year, incentives, what have you, and you figure something out. The Jets can't pay their rookie guys. They're not eligible yet for contract extensions, so that's a silly take. They're not allowed to pay Sauce or Garrett Wilson yet. You got to complete 3 years on your rookie deal before you're eligible for a contract extension. So that doesn't even make any sense. Just for Fun says, this is my favorite show to watch from the toilet. Calm down, Just for Fun. All right, no one wants to hear your gas. Eric checks in. As a Wheelhouse Texans fan, keep up the hard work, Jake. Well, thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. A year ago yesterday was actually the anniversary of me getting fired, so there you have that. As an outsider looking in, how are the Jets feeling about the Rodgers trade this upcoming season? We're feeling very good about it, Eric. Obviously, the key caveat is he's got to remain healthy, but he's looked great this summer. Teammates love him. Coaches love him. Been a great leader. He's done everything you want. Now, the key is him making it through the year, which he doesn't have a history of injuries. You know, if he were to get hurt, right? Last year, he got hurt in week 1. He started practicing with the Jets as the scout team quarterback in December. Like, yesterday, he was running around at practice, picking up first downs with his legs. So he looks good. We feel good about it. There's zero regrets making that deal. Their other option was either Derek Carr or Jimmy Garoppolo. So it might not work, but I have no regrets over the Jets making the deal for Rodgers. It was the right move. That's how we feel. Pittsburgh Mike checks in. Biggest X factor this season is hopefully playing with a lead. Run game will flourish. Defense can hunt, and Rodgers won't have to do too much. 12-5. Yeah, I think that's a great point. You know, how do you play with a lead, though? You score points, which they couldn't do last year. They should be able to do it this year. And I do agree with Joe. I've said this as well. They're going to be running the ball a lot early. They want to pound the rock. And it's great to see Braylon Allen looking the way he did, just to give you another running back option you're comfortable with besides just the greatness of Brees. That's the bottom line. Let's see. Another super chat from Craig. See you on Saturday, Jake. Thanks for organizing. Craig, looking forward to it, man. Well, thank you for coming. I think everyone's going to have a great time. The venue's awesome. Drink specials are great. We're going to have fun. Make sure you RSVP. If you want some behind the scenes of our big night, make sure you join the Patreon. Get in the Discord, and we'll be posting pictures all throughout the night. Videos. It's going to be great. Can't wait. All right, let's get to some of your calls. Ladies and gentlemen, first up on our Gusbuster hotline today is someone that will be in attendance Saturday night for the big party. His name, Bonesy.
The only thing better than all them shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Bonesy.
Jake, my brother. What's up, buddy?
How we doing, baby? How is Alden's on this fine Thursday?
Very good. Just finished with my first customer, and now I was listening to you and Joe. Great stuff, and I'm just excited, man. I'm so pumped for Saturday. Just how the young players played in this pass game just gives us confidence that, This should be a fun game. We get to look at the young guys again, and we have a lot of developing talent. So you combine that with this party we're going to have and all this roster coming. It's pretty ridiculous. Very excited, and I've been listening to a lot of interviews, and I can't. I'm starting not to be able to control my excitement. When you heard just Rodgers alone, there's something different going on. They're talking too confidently, and it's not like boasting, but like he had a line about saying Hassan should just come to Jets because it's going to be a fun ride. And then when you listen to Salah's interview with Boom and Gio, which is another good one, Salah really he put a lot out there, and he seems like he's trying to change. And you got to check that interview out. That was a really good one. And
it was very good.
Oh my God. And the one thing that just keeps sticking in my head is that how happy and lucky he feels to have this extra year, this fourth year. It's like a godsend, and that we're going to kill some people, he said. He literally said, and this thank God for this year, because we're going to kill some people. And they're just so confident. Like, and then even just listening to like Morgan Moses and Brees and everybody, just like, what Morgan Moses coming back and just listening to him talk about this O-line. It's the O-line. That's why Rodgers is confident. That's why Salah's confident. It's this O-line that we put together with these veterans, with Tyron and Morgan, and you add a healthy AVT. You bring in John Simpson. I'm not going to go through it, but I'm so pumped. I'm just listening to all the interviews. It's just got my blood going, man. I'm so excited.
I love it. Bonesy, bring the excitement Saturday night. It's happening.
Alden pregame. I can't wait for Saturday. Love you guys. Jake, I love you, brother.
We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bonesy, everybody. Super chats, we'll cut the line. Keep sending them in. You know you're loved when King and Dreams drops a $10 super chat just to say, Bonesy, my G. Who doesn't love Mr. Bonesy? Pittsburgh Mike says, Jake, are you doing a tailgate for the home opener? I'm a part of the L5 tailgate crew. It's not my tailgate, but that's where I tailgate before home games. So I'll be doing a meet and greet with anyone who wants to stop by. BYOB. It's going to be a lot of fun. They do the big jersey burn about an hour before kick. Okay, yeah, it's going to be wild for those who have ever been. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So we've been trying to add the Aaron Rodgers scorched earth emoji. Listener Joe Mike is the one who made it. He can't get the sizing figured out, so we don't have it yet. But in the meantime, we do have an emoji that I would like to add if we got 10 this show. If we get 23 more channel members, the next emoji I would like to add is an upgrade over an emoji we currently have right now. This was made by the great Gator McCluskey. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Bubby Bubble Bath emoji, new and improved. So, help us hit that number. 23 more members, and I'll throw this one up over the current Bobby Bubble Bath emoji. More of your calls right now. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. There's 350 of you watching. There's only 132 likes. So the math is not mathing. Please support the show by clicking the thumbs up icon. It helps immensely.
B-Mac. Look at my TV. B-Mac. I love Aaron Rodgers. Jets. Go Jets.
Good morning, Jake. It's good
morning,
to
B-Mac.
see you. Joint practice. Here we go. I've got two questions. Well, second one's a question, but the other one is how Lazard is frustrated, man. Like, how can you make these amazing catches all over Sauce Gardner? You know what I mean? And then the next day, drop a easy slant pass and fall. And like, I don't know. Like, he's so, like, he makes you love him, but he makes you want to hate him at the same time. Like,
I mean, he's the very definition of average. He's okay,
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he's. Yeah, I mean, it seems like he's Peter, like Peter Castro like, oh, the Jets are going to be great, and then the next day fire Robert Saleh, or things are going to crash down and burn. You know what I mean? Like bipolar, like you said he is. I feel like Allen is always like that because he does make these amazing catches. Like, wow, you know what I mean? I'm shocked. You know what I mean? And then I don't know. I mean, he's kind of like James Jones, like back then. Like James Jones makes these incredible catches, and then these easy slant catches he just drops. But I don't know. And then the one thing that do you think people overrate Rodgers' health going into this year? Because I know you said Joe Burrow missed some practices, like too.
Joe Burrow can't throw on 2 consecutive days yet. They're so worried about his wrist injury being a problem. So, look, I mean, I get why people would be concerned about Rodgers' health. He's 40, turning 41 in December. He didn't play last year. I get it. I'm not telling people you're wrong if you feel that way. I just look at it like, look, he's healthy now. He doesn't have a chronic history of injuries. He's in excellent shape. He's having a great training camp. Could he get hurt? Sure. But that's why you're better prepared if he has to miss a couple games. If he has to miss the entire season again, I don't care who's your backup. You're not going to be able to survive that, but they could find a way to survive 3 or 4 games even if Aaron somehow suffers a conventional QB injury.
But a lot of quarterbacks get hurt, too, you know what I mean? So
exactly.
You see that about Patrick Mahomes, you know what I mean? Yeah, again, Patrick Mahomes, he's not 40 coming off major injury, but, I mean, Patrick Mahomes can get hurt week 1. Like, you can do that to any quarterback. Josh Allen.
Yeah. I promise you, if Patrick Mahomes got hurt in the 4th play of the Chiefs season last year, they wouldn't have won the Super Bowl.
But I say if Rodgers, personally, I think he's going to play 17 games. But like you said, 15 like Matt Stafford did last year, 15 out of 17. If Rodgers can give you 15 games, that's enough.
Yeah, I think he'd sign for 15 games right now for sure.
Yeah.
B-Mac, thank you for the time.
Thank you.
B-Mac. Hey, you hater guy. Allen sucks and JJ can kiss my ass before I wipe.
Thank you for that one, B-Mac. Tom A says, I'm 40, turning 41 next month. I feel more alive than ever. Age, just a number. Tom Ace, everybody. Happy almost birthday. King and Dreams checks in with a super chat. Jake, you said DJ Reed's a good player the other day. Nah, B, he's a Pro Bowl type of corner. That's better than good. You can't play our boy like that. Dude is fire. Anyways, good show, my G. DJ Reed is good. He's very good. I think he's had, especially his first year with the Jets, a Pro Bowl level season. He's been an awesome free agent signing. My point when I was saying that is he's not Hassan Reddick, who's been an all-pro, who's a true game wrecker at a premium position. I'm a big DJ Reed fan. I talk up DJ Reed constantly. But that was my point in saying he's a good player. Carter, good player. Conklin, good player. These guys are good to very good players. Hassan Reddick is a great player at a premium position. That was my point. R&R says that Bobby emoji needs a sexy nurse sponging Bobby. I don't know if YouTube would approve that one. You're not wrong, but I don't know if we'd get that one approved. We need 23 members to make this a reality, folks. So please hit the join button and become a channel member if you'd like, or turn on gift receipts because you never know when someone's going to make it rain. Tyrone checks in with a super chat. He cuts the line. Let's go, baby. Aaron Rodgers in the offense will take us to the Super Bowl, and the defense. Reddit will be there unless he's an idiot, not worried. Go Jets. Tyrone, if you say so, if Hassan Reddick will be there, I hope you're right. Any relation to Hassan Reddick? K&D says, fair enough, my B. You're good, brother. You're good. I love DJ Reed. I'm just saying, the idea that, you can't pay Reddick because, DJ Reed and Conklin and Carter showed up to camp on the last year of their deals. I'm sure they want new contracts. Like, that's not the same thing. You acquired Reddick in a trade. You knew he wanted the deal. So why are you requiring a disgruntled player if you didn't have any intentions of redoing his deal? And the Jets are going to say, well, we did, but he didn't show up. Well, this is why you get the deal done before the trade is finalized, like every other team in the NFL does. Now, I know people are going to say, well, Matthew Judon got traded yesterday. He doesn't have a new deal yet. It sounds like they're pretty far along in contract talks, and they are going to get a deal done. I stand corrected if he plays on his current deal. But I'm pretty confident in the Falcons and Matthew Judon getting a deal done. We'll see how that plays out. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Graves, a member of the 4% female demographic, is on the line. What's up, Jay Graves?
Hey, Jake, what's up? So I was listening to Salah's press conference yesterday, and he was talking about how they had the ones doing the equivalent of 3 quarters. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to translate into the first game. I'm hoping that will kind of give us a little edge, and wondering what your thoughts on that were.
Yeah, you're talking about the practice where they played a ton the other day?
Yeah, he basically said the amount of snaps were equivalent to 3 quarters of a game.
Yeah,
so I guess he's trying to get their stamina or their everything up.
Yeah, well, they've done something different this year. They've had way more reps, like just team drills, than they've had in the past. They're trying to start faster in that way. That's the strategy behind it. And now they're also not going to play their starters in the preseason,
right?
Maybe at all.
That's why I don't care either. But that was my other point. Was like, Aaron's like, oh, this is fake. But in practice, you're doing 3 quarters against arguably the best, if not one of the best defenses. Like you said the other day, what's Carolina going to do for you? What's the Giants going to do for you? Nothing. So if you're doing 3 quarters against our defense, and our defense is doing 3 quarters against hopefully one of the top 5 lines in the NFL, I don't care who plays either.
Yeah, they practiced so hard on Tuesday that yesterday was a walkthrough to basically get the bodies right before this joint practice today. That's going on right now.
Yeah, so I'm hoping it'll translate to Monday night, and we'll just have that extra energy in that fourth quarter when everybody's tired, that our guys are going to be going to that next level, hopefully.
Amen. I hope you're right, Jay Graves.
I'll see you later.
You got it. Jay Graves checking in. Love it. Hit the like button for Jay Graves. Tommy writes in, think Darnold will start all 17 games. Let's see who their third string is. I don't even know. You know what the Vikings should do? They should sign Ryan Tannehill just to have another backup. I wouldn't give up on my season. They have too many good offensive players. Nick Mullins and Jaron Hall are the only other 2 quarterbacks on the roster. I'd bring in Tannehill. O'Connell could probably get something out of him if he had to. Look, Sam's got a real opportunity here, man. It's the best situation he's ever been in. He sat for a year and learned from Shanahan. He has elite weapons, including the game's best wide receiver to throw to. Jordan Addison seemingly survived the health scare yesterday, so they got him, obviously JJ. Their tight end is TJ Hawkinson. Their running back is Aaron Jones. Like, they have a really good offense. And an offensive head coach who won games with Josh Dobbs last year when Dobbs didn't even know any of the plays. He was literally getting the plays told to him in his radio headset, his helmet, in real time from O'Connell last year. So the guy could coach offense. So Sam's got a great opportunity to turn his career around. I hope he does it, besides when they play the Jets in London. But, this is Sam's last chance to ever be a starter in this league. If he doesn't do well with this, he's never going to get an opportunity to start again. He's only going to be viewed as a backup. This will be his 3rd opportunity to start. You very rarely get 3 different chances to start games in the NFL when you've been as bad and at best mediocre as Darnold has been in his career. Sam Darnold is 21-35 as a starter. He's got 63 career touchdowns, 56 interceptions. His completion percentage is under 60%. This is his last chance. So I'm rooting for Sam, except when the Jets play on week 5. Because I always like Sam. Turned out he wasn't good, but you talk about setting your quarterback up to fail. Oh, let's fire Todd Bowles, a defensive guy, because we need to get a young offensive genius to help Sam take it to the next level. So let's hire Adam Gase, who failed in your own division. And every Jet fan, us dopes, we knew that was a disaster the second the hire was made.
And Jet fans are clueless. They're dopes. They don't know anything. This is a really good hire. Gase is a great coach. Okay, Adam Gase is Kyle Shanahan before Kyle Shanahan. Gase is a great coach.
Gase is a great coach. Never forget. Never forget. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your phone calls right now. Then we'll give you more practice updates as they continue to come in. Jets on the field for a joint practice against Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. More of your calls on the Gusbuster hotline, though, right now.
I mean, honestly, it's time for another V-Man call. I mean, honestly, I'm not sleeping.
Hey, Jake, what's up? I still have the theory that Adam Gase was just payback for the wild card beatdown in the 2002-2003 playoffs.
Adam Gase was payback for what?
Remember Peyton Manning was the one who recommended him?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I still believe that to this day. I believe that's just payback for that humiliation.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but continue.
So I was hearing about Rodgers trying to talk to Reddick. So what's the word on that?
Well, I'm sure he reached out. So, I mean, Reddick's still not with the team yet, but I don't know when he would report.
We'll see. Who knows? Maybe Aaron Rodgers can talk some sense into him. Hopefully.
Yeah. I hope it works.
Yeah, no. And I agree with the last caller. It's like the best way for this team is going to get prepared is by playing itself. The offense is going to get better playing the defense. Defense is going to get better playing this offense. This joint practice. I mean, you're playing against what's arguably probably the worst team in the NFL right now. So how much can you get better from that? How much can they really improve you?
100%. Yeah, I mean, now or never, V-Man. Got to get him in the building. Just like we need to get you to T-Squared ready to play the halftime show on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. We will see.
Are you bringing anyone to the venue?
No, I'm going alone.
I love it. You're going to be a big celebrity in there. You don't mind taking pictures with fans, right?
If people ask me to take pictures, I'll take pictures if people ask me.
No, I'm dead serious. There's going to be a lot of pictures requests. I saw it with Charles Gorman. I mean, more people wanted the picture with him than with me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it.
No, I swear. Everyone going to T-Square. We already have 200 people that have RSVP'd. I would say at least 170 of them specifically mentioned they're going for you.
If you can show me proof of that, then I'll believe it.
All right. I'll work on that for you.
All right. Talk to you later, man.
All right. Goodbye, V-Man.
I mean, honestly, Jake just hung up on me, and honestly, I'm going to go back to sleep.
Thank you, V-Man. Nice of V-Man to be willing to take some pictures with fans. Some updates from practice courtesy of Michael Nania, who was on site for Jets X Factor today. Adrian Martinez to Brandon Smith. Big one over the middle. Preseason connection, staying strong. Next tweet. 2 slick jukes from Gibson on kick return. Looks like it may have been good for a touchdown. Bent it back from the right side all the way to the left sideline and was never close to being touched. Let's go, Xavier Gibson. Let's go. First play of teams. Rodgers to Garrett, deep, about 30 yards downfield. Only had one guy to beat for a touchdown if it were a real game. Jets' pass game has been pretty dominant today. Next play, screen to Garrett for about 5. Nadia, 2 minutes ago. I'm watching the offense, but I see the defense got into it again. There's been a lot of fights, it looks like, at these joint practices, which typically always happens. Next tweet from Nadia. Rodgers extends play, finds Gifton sitting in soft spot for huge gain. Jets inside the 5. We await more updates from Michael Nania. Handoff to Allen. Bounces it out. Touchdown. Effortless touchdown drive from Jets' first team offense on first possession. All right. Rodgers is cooking. Start the season. We're ready. Start the season. JT says L5 is always a great time. Love the jersey burn. Thank you, JT. I can't take any credit for it, but I can tell you about it. So I want everyone to experience it. If you're just tuning in, hit the like button. We've added 10 members during the show. Thank you to King and Dreams for gifting them. We get 23 more. I will update the Bobby Bubble Bath emoji because the AR Scorched Earth emoji is not ready yet. We can't get the sizing for YouTube down. Joe Mike's working hard on it, though. Don't worry. But the Bobby Bubble Bath emoji is ready to roll. So that will go in its place. We get 23 more members. Hit the gift membership button instead of the money sign when you hit a super chat, right? Hit the money sign, then hit gift membership. That's how you do it on the right-hand side of your YouTube, whether you're on your phone or watching on your laptop or desktop. More calls right now. Joe the Jet is on the line. Joe, what do you got for us?
Hey, Jake, I got one question for you. You
Yes,
smell
sir.
something? It smells like someone's cooking, right?
Aaron
Rodgers is cooking, as you said. He is doing his thing. I'm really impressed in hearing Xavier Gibson is back and doing his thing. I have a little bit of a sort of bold prediction. He is going to be one of the better wide receivers on this team. Maybe top 3, possibly. This dude, I've seen it through weeks and weeks. This dude has been probably one of the more underrated players on this team and underrated players on this offense. I really think he's going to improve, and I think he's going to get even better, honestly. The fact that he's in with the number ones right now really shows.
I do think that Gibson is maybe underrated a little bit. You just got to see more. He's never had a real quarterback, right? I mean, and by the end of last season, he did start to make a lot more plays in this offense. It will be curious to see what role he has, with Corley also being someone they want to feature in the slot too.
Yeah, no. From what I've seen out of Corley, it's very interesting see how he sort of plays. He sort of plays how people say he's Debo. I sort of think of a smaller Quincy Enunwa. And you remember how Enunwa was just a player that when he ever got the football, he would just ground and pound and just be very physical by getting the football and like running the football. That's sort of how I look at him. He's more of like a smaller Quincy Enunwa, sort of that type of player. And, Quincy, I think Quincy's probably one of the most underrated Jets of all time, in my personal opinion.
Hey, so, Joe, you want to hear something before anyone else finds out about it?
What?
You're the first person to know this. You ready?
What?
Tomorrow morning at approximately 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Quincy Enunwa will be making his debut on the Jake Asman Show.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
baby.
Go.
It's happening. You're the first to know.
Quincy
Don't tell anyone, all right? Yep. It's going to be a
That's
big surprise for everyone. You're the only one who knows.
That's great. Oh, my God. Most underrated Jets of all time. Love
He's
Quincy
awesome.
Enunwa.
Yep. He'll be coming on tomorrow at 10. That's the projected time. It's going to be hopefully at 10, if not in that 10 a.m. hour, but we're working to finalize it. But we got him. We've been messaging all week, so Quincy's coming on the show. So Jet fans, a little treat. This is to give you a little Football Friday with Quincy. They'll have Boy Green in the afternoon to lead you right into the event of all events, the Party of Champions, Saturday night in Manhattan.
Yeah, no, let's go, man. I mean, I'm psyched for the season. I mean, we're dominating the Panthers at practice. I mean, let's go. Just start the season already. Come on, let's go. Jets, Jets. Let's go.
Let's go, Joe. Great call. Joe the Jet. I think Joe the Jet's one of our more underrated regulars. Great job by Joe the Jet. Uh-oh. Aaron Rodgers just threw an interception to linebacker Trevin Wallace in the end zone. Didn't look like Rodgers saw him. Did we say start the season too soon? On the other field, Chuck Clark just leveled Chuba Hubbard, who is still down. Nice to hear a positive update about Chuck Clark. I think he's an underrated player. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Here for the memes, he's got a super chat. Was playing Madden 25 with the Jets' new jerseys. Yeah. They look clean, don't they? Here for the memes. Rourke Strip says this is the best place for all things Jets. I agree, but I'm biased, Rourke Strip, but thank you for saying it. The listeners make it the best place. The callers, the commenters. It's a lot of fun. Charles says Tony Adams is a liability. I disagree. I thought Tony Adams was pretty good last year for a first-year player starting. I thought he got better as the year went on. I disagree with that. More updates from practice now. Tyrod Taylor with a great deep ball to Lance McCutcheon, who Rodgers shouted out as a standout the other day. Taylor throws a pretty deep ball. That is true. Tom A says the show is elite on all three levels. Host, callers, chat. I love it, Tom. Appreciate it. We're like the Jet defense. We're elite on all three levels. We have an all-pro on the defensive line in Quinnen. Pro Bowlers in Jermaine and eventually Reddick. All-pro linebackers in CJ and Quincy. All-pro corner in Sauce. We have elite players at all three levels on the defense. And same with this show, apparently. Snowball says his Rucker disappearing. He has a concussion, Snowball. That's why he hasn't been practicing. So he's disappearing from updates until he's cleared protocol. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. We get right back to your calls. But first, let's talk about where I'm going to be starting Wednesday next week.
We don't need gimmicks like giant checks and mascots to promote this year's football contest because we're giving away even more money than we did last year.
$16 million in guaranteed prizes to be exact. There's 2 ways to win and no rake.
Players in Circa Millions make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries select 1 team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. Visit circasports.com for details.
Let's go, baby. I'm headed out to Vegas next week. I'll be signing up for the Circus Survivor for all the Asmaniacs. If you want your own entry, circasports.com. $16 million in guaranteed prizes. The best 2 pro football betting contests in the universe. It's at Circa. Their sports book speaks for itself. Largest indoor and outdoor book. The best odds. Just the best place to stay in general. Any of my listeners who came out for our event for the Raiders game last year can attest to that. Once again, circasports.com for all the information. Huge shout out to Circa for having me there next week. Going to do some big time shows from their Radio Row for contest weekend they have set up. So we'll have some big guests joining us in person next week. Some the audience is familiar with, like Jeff Parles and Cole Thompson, who will be there. And others I'm going to introduce you guys to. So get ready for comprehensive football talk next week on the show, live from Las Vegas. All right. More of your calls right now. We say hello to Eric Stone, who's up next. What's up, Eric?
Hey, what's going on? Never called in before, but working from home today, so I figured why not.
Hey, what's up, Eric? Thanks for making the call.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for everything you do for us as fans. Really appreciate it. I guess one thing, rather than keep beating the dead horse that is Hassan Reddick, I have an opinion that I think Solomon Thomas should be considered to fill in at the defensive end spot. He was drafted there. He's got similar build to what JFM was. So I think moving him to the end is a better solution than Will McDonald for 3 downs, as well as Michael Clemens, quite frankly. I think that having one of the UDFAs fill in at the backup D tackle is more productive use of resources. And another thing, I guess it's a really good thing, but AVT is still practicing, right? Like he's still fully, I think it's great that nobody said a word about him. So that's just like him in a nutshell. He's all business all the time. And he's just a warrior out there. So I think that's a really promising thing. Like everybody wants to talk about Fashanu, obviously, because he's the new guy in town and looks really good. But I think Vera Tucker's probably in for like all the all-pro, Pro Bowl, whatever accolade you want to give him that the coaching staff really brings up. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents about training camp so far. So I'll leave it at that.
Eric, call back again, man. That was a great first-time call. Appreciate you making it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on.
Eric checking in. Good job by him. As far as Solomon Thomas, I think they're comfortable with what his role is, right? Kind of a gritty, do the dirty things kind of guy, can make plays, great leader. He was their Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. So I don't know if they're really going to mess with him. He'll play. He'll have a role. And I think that's a testament to this coaching staff that was able to basically take a guy who was a bust for where he was drafted, but still turn him into a productive player. Right? Salas was with him out in San Fran when they drafted him. Same thing with Kinlaw. That's why I think Kinlaw is going to be a good player this year too. You know, and you're right about AVT though, Eric. The fact that you're not hearing his name a lot is a good thing, right? You hear Olu's name a lot because we're focused on him watching all the reps. If people just watched AVT, it'd be like, well, he's winning every rep, or he's just really good. He's healthy. You know, that's the key. Getting those guys to gel with the amount of reps they're getting this summer versus what we had last year where we didn't know who the starting five was till a week before the year even started. It's night and day difference when it comes to the offensive line. Now you pray they could stay healthy, man. 13 combinations in 17 games last year is insane. It's insane. So you hope they could stay healthy. The offensive line has been a nice plus this summer. I think the different scheme has helped them, especially with the style of run offense they're going to have. So that's how I look at it. More calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the Keith Best emoji. Keith's on the line. Hello, Keith.
Good morning, Jake. I just got out of chemo, so I have not paid attention to anything of what's happening with practice. I won't be home till I have to go back in, and I won't get out till 2:30. So it's a rough day today.
Hang in there, Keith. We're all thinking of you.
Tried to eat something at the cafeteria, and it came right up. So yeah, I don't want to talk like that. But anyway, I was listening to the play call on the first possession. Have we ever scored a first possession touchdown over the last year?
I don't think they did it in a single game last year, Keith, that I can think of.
Right. And all of a sudden, here you are in practice, and Roger pulls it off.
Yeah, I mean, he's Aaron Rodgers, right? I mean, and even
Right.
Tyrod is capable of scoring a first drive touchdown if he had to start some games this year. Just that's how historically bad this offense was.
When you did that play calling just a couple of minutes ago, I was like, yeah, go, 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 you know, Jets, you know. Anyway, I don't know. You know, I got on Bobby's show last night at 8:00.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw when he called you. I'm glad you could chop it up with Bobby and crew on the Bobby Midnight Show.
Yeah, and had a great, nice talk with Chef Kevin about, you know, the deep things that him and I, in his situation with his wife and myself.
Yep.
And that was awesome. Really awesome.
I'm glad you two connected, Keith. That's what this community is all about. So you're a testament to all that.
But that's what Robbie said a couple of weeks ago when we were talking. You know, when he said about my goddad, this is about community. And that's absolutely correct.
Absolutely.
You know? All right, let me go. I have to go back upstairs, but it's great to see you. Are you on this afternoon?
Yeah, so I'm going to the Met game today in a Pat the Patriot costume to pay off my last place fantasy football punishment. Once I get back from that, because I'm not staying for the whole thing, I plan to go live with Robbie Sabo today around 5:00 is the projected plan.
Cool. Yeah. Call on me if I'm on there. I'm going to talk to Robbie.
Keith. You got it.
You got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Keith Best checking in. What a great call. All the best, Keith. Keep crushing it. You're going to get through this cancer fight, and we're all here supporting you every step of the way. We're going to do, by the way, folks, it's in the works right now. I've been messaging with Keith off air. Keith's got so much medical bills, and I want to help him. I want to ask my audience if anyone has any extra money they're willing to donate, whether it's $1 or however you're able to help. We're going to have a GoFundMe link that I'm putting together. Going to hopefully work on it this weekend when I get breath of air to come up from between this event and radio stuff and everything. But it's in the works, and we'll be able to support Keith and help him with his medical bills, man, because no one should have to go through what Keith's going through, and he brings such positivity and joy when he calls in. So it's the least we could do. So I'm working on that, and we'll have more info coming soon. Ladies and gentlemen, how about this guy, Felix Campos? You kidding me? I got to get my umbrella. 20 more memberships. Here we go.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
The hell with it.
Oh my goodness gracious. Of all the dramatic things I have ever seen, Roger Clemens in George's box and Felix Campos. Oh, baby. It's raining channel memberships. Gustbuster umbrella is out, baby. And here comes. Here it comes. The rain. R and N. Maniac. Here we go. Breakheart, Trilly Trill, Onana, Abungus Mungus, J-Dag 6'3", Barbarossa, Confessor LeBron, Flight Boys 2.0, Jeffrey, J-Lock TC, Dakota J, the Jets Motivator, Joey K, Brian Farrell, Matt LaMontagne, Chris, Vino, Carlo G, Steven Spragus, Cyprian Rogers. You are all channel members. We're just 3 away from the Bobby Sponge Bath emoji being updated in its new and improved form. Wow. Felix, you're the man. The only thing that I ask is if you please message me an address to send you some swag and a t-shirt size so I know what I'm picking out for you. So at least we could do, Felix. It's like you just want to be this hero and you don't want any Asmaniac merch. I want to help you because you helped me. Thanks for the support, man. Everyone appreciates it. I'm saying that the rain messed up the mic. Is that true? I don't know what happened there. It's a new mic we're using today. The sound, I'm told, sounds a lot better, according to Gator McCluskey. Felix writes in, oh my God, again. Here we go. 5 bombs for 5 memberships. Wrong Verve, Paul Melodosian, Matthias Simon, Quantez, and Paul Flans, all channel members. Let's freaking go. But wait, if you thought we were done, there's more. Iconical Wear, making it rain 5 more channel memberships.
Money, 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 money.
All right, here we go. John Jack 85, Rich Perenza, SXHBK, Wolfson Family, Jet Buff John. You are all as maniacs. Love it. Can I get some feedback on the mic? Does it sound good today, folks? Is this good for you guys? All right. Give me some feedback on the mic. I know when I played the raindrop, it probably, made me sound a little lower. I got to lower the rain a little bit, but other than that, quality show with the mic. That's what I'm asking for some feedback for those watching the show live in the chat right now. By the way, notice who didn't get a membership there? J-Quest. He'll never get one. And I'll say it again, because I sent Lane Train this morning a mug, a pint glass, and a Jake Asman Show t-shirt. If you're the Asmaniac who gifts Lane Train his membership, any item in the merch store, your choice, you pick it out. We send it to you for free. All right? I'm going to add the Bobby Midnight updated bubble bath emoji. I'm going to add it right now, and hopefully it fits, and it is ready to roll. Let's see. Save and publish. Will it work? It did. Update the browsers. We are good. That emoji is now live for those to enjoy. More calls right now. Harvey's on the line.
What's up, Harvey? Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going today?
Hey, Harvey.
Hey, Harvey. How are you?
I'm
testing out my new equipment.
I hear an echo, Harvey.
Turn the show off
or
something. I think that's just my setup.
How about now?
Let's see.
Is that better? I'm getting
feedback.
Every time I say something,
how's that?
I didn't hear it instantly. Let me try again later. Or reset. We'll figure that out. Hawk writes in, did the Asman mail thong drop yet? Interesting question, Hawk.
Now look what you've done. Hawk, no more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the Sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
Peace. I only put you there for 10-minute talk, but the show might be done in 10 minutes. I have a Mets game to wear a costume to attend. All right, some updates from practice, folks. Bryce Young with long completion over DJ Reed for first down on third down. This is full team drive the field drill. Panthers on the move. Panthers drive ends with a touchdown. Boone takes it. Big hole. Offense now up for the Jets. Panthers getting pressure up the interior, but Rodgers doing a fantastic job getting rid of the ball quick and moving up the field. Rodgers then aired it out for Garrett Wilson, and the Panthers DB basically tackled him before the ball got there. Flag. Jets 1-minute drill. 2 short completions to Conk, then short to Lazard. Garrett Cook's corner. Rodgers shot to end zone. Corner commits PI on the goal line. Slant to Garrett next play. Incomplete. Rodgers fade to Garrett Wilson. Low and outside away from corner. Perfect placement. Goes low. Cradles it for touchdown. Effortless drive from Jets with 70 seconds on the clock to start. This is a tweet from Costello. I'll read you. Jets offense drives field. Rodgers to Wilson, touchdown. Panthers got pressure against O-line that had 3 backups, but Rodgers delivered balls so quickly it did not matter. That's the beauty of Aaron Rodgers. Ball's getting out fast. So even if your O-line is not great, this was the argument last year when some of you moron Wilson truthers, no one could be good with the offensive line. Well, Zach Wilson held on to the ball longer than any quarterback in football because he couldn't process information. He couldn't get rid of it. He wasn't decisive. He didn't know where to go with it. You know how to negate a bad O-line? You get rid of the ball fast. And Rodgers does that as fast as anyone. So last year, Zach's holding onto the ball forever with a bad line. It's like the worst combination ever. It's like trying to drive blind. You can't do it. So, yeah, Rodgers gets the ball out fast. That helps the offensive line. That matters. You know? Anyway, I didn't feel like using my Wilson Truther voice today, but I had no choice. Practice is now over. Tyrod Taylor's final drive ends with bad Isaiah Davis drop and a pick. All right, so the 2-team offense did not do well in the drive the field. The 1-team offense went right down the field. I mean, that's kind of what you expect. Michael says, good luck at the Mets game, Jake. Don't jinx them. I'll tell you what, Michael, I have no opinion whatsoever on the game. Who's going to win? Don't care. I am simply showing up, wearing my costume, and getting the hell out of there. That's it. You guys want to see the costume? I have it right over here. Stand by. Let me get it real quick. While I pull up the costume, I will entertain the masses by playing this exclusive interview from last week with Charles Eugene M. Gorman. We're here with Charles Gorman. Charles, you're about to get into your Uber, which I called for you specifically to leave Don Jose Mexican restaurant. Give us the breakdown on the night. Did you have fun?
I had a good time. People were very nice. The food is good. I'm sorry I couldn't stay for long. My parents wanted me to be home at a certain time. I know I'm a grown-ass man, but their house, their rules. If you guys want to, do something like this, I'll try to come to it. Anyways, have a good day and stay healthy and God bless.
Charles, thank you for the time.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, there he goes. Charles Gorman, everybody. One of one. A legend of our time. Go Jets. God bless America. Here's the costume. It's so big I can't even get it on the screen to fit. All right. It's got a little Belichick level hoodie. Pat the Patriot. Just brutal. I'll be wearing this to a Mets game today. If you're going to the Mets game, say hello. I paid for the cheapest ticket ever, section 500 something. What a joke. But I'm a man of my word. You come in last place in fantasy. This was the punishment. I've never finished last in my life in fantasy. And the reason why I finished last is because name a player that got hurt in the NFL last year. I guarantee you, I probably had him on my team. Aaron Rodgers, Mike Williams, just kind of maybe scary now as a Jet fan that Mike Williams is on the Jets. Nick Chubb, Joe Burrow. There was more. I don't even remember. Not great. Here for the memes checks in. We have the best quarterback. You take a look at other quarterbacks. They're not like ours. The radical left Patriots want our quarterback. Sad. Well played, sir.
Please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore.
King Lowski says, get that bad juju out of your place. I know, King. I can't wait to get rid of it. I can't wait. Can't wait, as Bart Scott once said. But he wasn't talking about having to wear a Patriot costume to a Mets game to pay off a bet. At least I don't believe he was. Could be wrong, though. Let's check the updates from practice. We know practice is over. Main takeaway from Michael Nania. Boy, Green sucks. No, I'm just kidding. Main takeaway from Michael Nania. Garrett Wilson cannot be covered, and Rodgers will not hesitate to look for him time and time again. Going to be an electric connection. I know, wow, what a groundbreaking practice report. So Garrett Wilson said 2 joint practices this summer, and it sounds like he's been the best player on the field in both of them. Man. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hit the like button if you like Garrett Wilson. Actually, even better, if you're an Asmaniac, hit the G5 emoji we added. Let's go. I mean, Garrett's unreal. We know this. You just pray he's healthy, man. I'm not wishing for this. No one wants this. It would be cruel if he couldn't play 17 games this year after what he has been through, man. You just pray he's out there healthy. I think his body looks great this year. He got stronger. I think to take more of an NFL beating that comes with playing the position, right? He was playing through injuries last year. So I think Garrett's equipped in year 3 to really take on the load the Jets are going to ask him to have to carry with the target volumes coming his way. So let's see it. But I pray him and Aaron are healthy, man, because they're gonna break Jet records. That's the truth. I think we have did I see video? Oh, here we go. Good. All right, we'll end the show with some positive plays then. Here we go. Someone, I guess this is a Panthers fan account, is at joint practice doing what Jet fans normally do, filming it for us. So let's go screen share. We'll show you. Oh, my God. I just saw the throw. This was Aaron Rodgers' touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson. Wait till you guys see this. Good God. This is a dime ball. All right, here we go. Stand by. Let's get you set. Rodgers to Garrett. Here we go. Let's watch it all together now, kids. Also, family show. So if there's kids around, you might want to cover their eyes. This is like Jet porn we're showing you. Look at Rodgers moving, buying time. Oh, my God. I wonder if Conklin thought that was for him. And he's like, nah, no way. Oh, my God. Look at this. Look at this. I think it was a free play. I think it was offsides. I think this was offsides. Watch 45 on the right. He stops because he knows he jumped early. See? Free play. Yep. Oh, my God. 20 is like, I might have a pick. Nope. You got Garrett Wilson. Can we start the season? Look at the mobility of Aaron, too, on this play. I can't believe YouTube's letting me show this. This is like legit Jet porn. Oh, my God. Look at that. On second down. Oh, my God. Free play. Wow. Can you put a ball in a better spot? So Garrett Wilson's got 7 career touchdowns, which is the biggest embarrassment of all time. Thank you, Jets, for not giving him a quarterback. Garrett Wilson could have 7 touchdowns by the Jet bye week this year. I don't think that's crazy. Now, Dre thinks he's going to score 28. I wouldn't go that far, but I do think he's going to have 14 or 15 this year if he's healthy. One more time, folks. Unreal. Some of you need to change your underwear now. I understand. Wow. The guy who tweeted that, unnecessary bluntness. The caption, Aaron Rodgers, sheesh, dot. See if if he has any other plays I can show you. I mean, you got the money play there. I'm just reading his tweets. Tyrod Taylor still got it, making some very impressive throws in and out of the pocket. Then literally the next tweet, 10 minutes later, Damani Richardson pick on Tyrod to finish day. Safety room has some depth. All right. That's the only play that came up for me, I think, that I could show. Okay, and another guy I see here. You guys want to see the interception that Alan Lazard caused? I have this. Stand by. Let me pull that up. All right, here we go. This is first time I'm watching it too. This is the play. Let me go full screen for you guys. All right, here we go. Let's see how Lazard screwed this one up. Yeah, he screwed that one up. Catch the ball, damn it. He's had a good camp, but this is why Aaron Lazard infuriates us as fans. Let's see, was Aaron pissed after this? Let's see his body language. He's just like, what are you going to do? All right. I mean, you could live with that. Lazard's had a good camp. Tough to kill him, but this is why, at best, he's the 3rd or 4th receiver on this team. Anyway, I think that's all in all good stuff. I'm sure there'll be more stuff we could talk about on the afternoon show. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. We'll have more highlights. I'm back. They tried to cancel me. Well, guess what? You couldn't. All right, we're going to wrap up the show, though. Last chance to send in a comment or question for me to read. Super chats, always. Cut the line. Got another minute or so remaining. I will show you guys a little Olu film. Tommy, Sopranos type ending. Yeah, I just got the Tony Soprano darkness ending there. Here's Olu winning a rep in drills against a Panthers defender. Also, he's playing the right side here, too, in this rep. This is not his natural position. Oh, looks good here. Let's watch it again. Yeah. Olu's good. I mean, I think we knew that already. Let's see what else SNY Jets gave us here. Just Rodgers getting loose, some Salah. You won't be able to hear the audio. Here's Aaron getting loose. All right. It looks good. Tremendous. Lasso says, does Tyrod play the whole first quarter? I could see him playing the first quarter on Saturday, Lasso. Kind of hope he does. We need some touchdowns for our event. Every time the Jets score a touchdown, the JETS green tea shot we have on the menu at T Squared goes from $7 to $4 a shot. All right. Keith says, how do you feel about Olu moving to the right? I love it. He did practice there in college, he said. He started working on that his last year to get ready for the NFL. I'd rather Olu Fashanu be the right tackle if Morgan Moses got hurt than Carter Warren or Max Mitchell. I'm not worried about injuries there. Olu is a giant sponge. He's getting a Bobby sponge bath this year. Learning, absorbing from Tyron and Morgan Moses. He should be ready to go in and be the swing tackle. Steven says, haven't heard Rutgers' name much. Is he hurt? He's in concussion protocol, so yes. Yes, he is. So there you have it. There you have it. Today's Jake Asman Show presented by Underdog Fantasy. Folks, shout out to Underdog for being one of our great sponsors. Start drafting your fantasy teams with Underdog. You also could put in your season-long picks with Underdog. Go higher or lower on some of your favorite stats. Baseball today, I'm headed to the Mets game in a Patriots costume to pay off this bet. To make it interesting, yeah, I'm going to be placing some Underdog picks on Mets A's, baby. What a game they'll be talking about for years to come. Promo code Asman if you want to play anything with Underdog and get a 50% deposit match up to $250. So check that out. Shout out to Underdog for being a part of our show. That does it for me. Thank you to Joe Caporoso, the Italian Stallion, for joining us for the first 30 minutes of the show. We talked about Rodgers' comments about Reddick, state of the team, and much more. Thanks again for all your support. Thank you to King and Dreams and Felix and Iconicalware and everyone who gifted a channel membership means a lot. Thanks to all the super chats and, of course, the calls. Couldn't have done it without you. We're back around 5 p.m. Eastern time today, assuming I make it back from this Met game in time. Hopefully, we'll be joined by Bob Sabo. Robbie will be joining us, talk about the Jets, talk about today's joint practice, and everything else that's going on with this football team. Enjoy your Thursday. Talk to you hopefully later this afternoon. Go Jets, Jets. 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 Jets.
BJF is gone?
He was on for the first hour. Now, Neil, the AI summary of the chat is right now. I want to read it to you for you to get you to comment. Viewers in the chat, you're getting just so you know, you're getting destroyed in the chat right now.
Oh, yeah, because I got no shirt on. I'm
back-to-back callers with no shirts on.
That's
yes.
it. Yeah, rip me, bro. I don't give a shit.
I'm not. I'm just reading the comments.
No, it's fine. I don't give a shit. But I can't see it, so I'll go back and look at it. Picture your wives under me, bro. Anyway.
Steve M, for your comments. I'm I can't, man. I need a 20. I'm taking 20.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
Only on this show, dude. Only on this show.
It's not my jam. I don't buy jam. I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips.
Joe Douglas going to get a lot of credit. And, yeah, I read Rick's comment. I support and honor a big fella.
Oh, come on.
We're live on Broadway right now. Shirtless, baby. Shout out to the chat.
Nate, thank you very much. All right. The show's getting weird.
I don't know what is going on today. I was watching the show on delay, and then I popped in, and everyone's topless.
From Leany and NC, Jake, I'm going braless. Does that count? For the first time ever, I have to play this for a female listener.
Calm your freaky down.
You talk to Alan, but you can't talk to me. Oh, thank you. Stop that freaking noise. Stop. Stop farting. Stop with that farts.